Hey, what's up, folks? This is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video is a long-awaited update on Verasity. So anybody who's been following my channel knows that I did an original review and price prediction on Verasity and the VRA token all the way back in April of last year. So it's been about 10 months since I've talked about Verasity, and there has been a ton of news that has happened on this one that I really want to share with you today. So what we're going to be doing in today's video is I'm going to be sort of picking up from after that with all of the various bullish news stories that happened from that point forward all the way to today, where there was even big news announced today. We're going to take a look at the chart. I'll give you even a price prediction for where this thing could fall this year. Lots of bullish news here and a ton going on between the Vera Esports. This is part of it. They've got ad tech, they've got NFTs, tons of things in this project that in my original review, I don't think were fully developed yet, and now they are. And so there's just so much going on here, so much opportunity. They have a wallet that gives you some fantastic rewards, and I'll mention that as well. So lots going on in this video, so it should be a really good one if you're looking for an update on Verasity, or if you've never heard of Verasity before and the VRA token, this is the video for you, all right? So that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. All right, so before we get into all of the big news that's been happening with Verasity, wanted to do a quick recap on exactly what this project is. I originally did a video on Verasity roughly in around April of 2021, so it's been about 10 months, quite a while now. And so a lot's changed with this project from where it started. At that point in time, it kind of centered all around esports, getting paid with VRA in order to watch those esports, sort of tokenizing it, etc. But they've since added some other features as well. So I just wanted to recap some of that real quick here. So currently right now, I'm showing you verasity.io. This is their homepage. And the big thing here, it says we're a blockchain company looking to create an entirely new experience in esports, ad tech, and digital rights management. All right. So let me kind of show you what this looks like real quick. So regarding the esports, so a seismic shift in esports. And it says Vera Esports is creating unlimited possibilities for users at the intersection of the gaming and crypto by introducing esport enthusiasts to in and out of game NFTs, rewards for watching and competing in your favorite esports tournaments. Now, I had seen a stat recently the other day where they were talking about esports. The amount of views and the interest is starting to exceed real sports. So Verasity is really on the cutting edge here with this. So it says, how it works, right? So esports players, enthusiasts can play, watch, enjoy their favorite esports tournaments on Vera Sports. On Vera Sports, players and teams can compete in tournaments, set up their own tournaments, build their brand, connect with fans. Enthusiasts can join Veracity's Watch and Earn program. So all you have to do is watch and you can earn VRA. Crypto lovers consume by gaming and video content, digital collectible NFTs. So that's pretty neat also. At the bottom, and I had recapped this in the first video that I did on him, here's some of the partnerships. So we have this Valorant, Challengers, Gaming Co., Riot Games, PUBG Mobile, Orange Esports, etc. So a bunch of different partnerships for esports. So that's the first part. Now, the second part, this is a bit of a new thing since my last video anyhow. Like I said, it's been about 10 months. Ad tech. So what they're focusing on here is it says Vera Views is a blockchain-powered ad stack built around Veracity's patented proof-of-view fraud identification technology. And what they're really targeting here, this is something that comes up a lot for anybody who has any experience with Fiverr in particular. there's a lot of people on Fiverr that say, "Hey, if you're looking for marketing, I can help you do that," right? And they show you that they're marketing for you with bots. They're not actually marketing with real people. So it's a bit of a skewed view. It's like a phony view of what they're actually delivering. They're not giving you real people that are going to and looking at your NFT project, or looking at your platform, or adding as users for your Instagram. And now let me just say too, it's not all of them, but there's a lot of them that are like this. They're totally phony. Okay. So you're over there paying, your $20, $50, $100, $200, whatever you're paying for their marketing services. And they're basically just sending bots that are adding as they make it look like they're followers, but they're not actual followers. They're not real people. Right. So that's kind of what this is targeting here with this ad tech. And it's saying that ad fraud essentially skews the performance metrics of advertising campaigns. That's 100% true. Causes advertisers to lose money. Yep, because you're advertising, you're not getting real people. That's a problem. Causes publishers to lose credibility and stunts the growth of the advertising industry. So, agreed on all fronts. So, how Vera Views works, the initial phase, cross check if the user is known before engaging. So, is this a profile that existed beforehand, or is it one that suddenly just popped up because it's a bot, right? Viewing phase, analyze the user's behavior and device parameters without impacting the transaction or engagement. Scoring phase analyzes first and third party data gathered from phases 1 and 2 with proprietary AI. Based on the scoring, the ad view is determined to be valid or fake. Posting phase, valid transactions are minted and commercial transactions are processed. So, personally, as somebody who has social media platforms, obviously this channel here, YouTube, I've also got, the Twitter page. I have all kinds of bots that are following my channel and my Twitter page. On the channel, anybody who's left a comment here, you'll see, there's all these different WhatsApp things. I try to hide them, delete them, get rid of them. Can't do it. They just keep coming back more and more as ever. Tons of scammers in these comments, right? They tell you all about how somebody saved them all this money. There's like 10 posts in a row for one thing. Totally phony. Okay. Now, we also have that same thing happens on Twitter, but on Twitter, what they like to do is they sort of spoof the support for a real platform. So anytime I post anything at all about Trust Wallet in particular, I get a whole ton of these spoofed, fake, phony bots that comment and they say, "Oh yeah, if you're having trouble with Trust Wallet, reach out at this support link." It's fake. They're trying to get your keys, your seed phrase. They're trying to steal your crypto. It's all fake. So that's kind of what this is centering around, is eliminating bots and that bot interaction from giving phony numbers. All right. Now, the other thing they have here, so authenticating NFTs for a safer, better experience for all stakeholders. Now, this is also a really good thing. And I don't think they were doing this back when I reviewed this 10 months ago. So, again, what is NFT fraud? So, forging of original content without the owner's consent, selling someone else's legitimate NFT, attributing NFTs to legitimate brands without consent, duplicating NFT listings, failure to sell due to insufficient buyer funds, etc., etc., etc. So, there are numerous scammers all over crypto, and they figure out these little angles like this and ways to rip people off. And somebody who's just sort of innocent to the space, a new investor, whatever, somebody who's just new to investing, period, new to crypto, period, it's very easy to fall into these traps. Personally, I actually had this happen to me. So, I've got my NFTs I started minting a while ago, just kind of something fun to do on the side, right? And I found a NFT marketing thing through Twitter, thought it was legitimate, and quickly realized, after I had paid him, $100 or whatever, completely phony, total phony fraud, right? I paid him through Venmo. Venmo has no rebuttal, no way to get the money back. It's basically that you're totally ripped off. I reported it to Twitter. I'm sure all Twitter would do, if anything, which they probably wouldn't even do this, is just cancel that account. And then he'd probably just start up a new account. And again, they make it look like, they're this well-known account that's advertising, NFTs. And, they've got, let's say 250,000 quote people that follow it. Well, the reality is that 250,000 is probably all bots. And this is some scammer in some third world country that's just ripping everybody off. And that's all it is. And it's ripping people off left and right, all kinds of, artists, anybody who's trying to mint NFTs, do it the right way. It's just riddled with scammers, and that's one really good things with the announcement by President Biden here in the U.S. about crypto is really taking a look at some of this stuff because there is way too much fraud in crypto in general. And so going back to this with Verasity, Verasity will preemptively stop NFT fraud before it happens. So, some of the features here: patented proof of view technology, an authentication solution for NFTs, open source view verification, Vera Wallet escrow, Vera Vault, verifiers network nodes. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Ensuring that the proof of view data is recorded transparently and that the integrity of the data is maintained. So overall here, you can see that Verasity has multiple angles. And this is what's neat with some cryptocurrency projects is where they start may not be where they're going to be in a year or two from now. So where Verasity kind of came out and where I was talking about it 10 months ago, it's definitely changed and morphed a little bit since that time. So they realized that, hey, they can provide some services here for ad tech. They can also provide services for NFTs. So really like that about Verasity. Definitely bullish on Verasity in general. A really great project. I really liked it the first time I took a look at it. And by the way, none of this video is sponsored or paid in any way. None of the content on my channel is. It's all organic. I simply review it either based on request or it's something that I keep seeing pop up on CT, for example. And that's kind of how Verasity was. It kept popping up over and over again on CT that I finally did that video in April of last year. It's been a while since I've talked about it, and that's why I wanted to share that video with you today. So hopefully you got a good idea of what Verasity is. And now we're going to be talking about those various news stories. All right, so now that we got the background out of the way, let's talk about some of these updates. And first, I'm going to specifically talk about the various centralized exchange listings that they've had since my last video. So there's 3 really big ones, one of them today, all right? So that being said, we had an OKEx listing 2 days after my last video. This was April 28th of last year. They got listed on OKEx. They're also already on Kucoin, Gate.io, various other platforms. January 21st of this year, they got listed on Huobi Global. So that was a really big listing for them, right? And then even today, March 9th, 2022, Verasity announced that they were listed on crypto.com. So that is a monster listing for Verasity. All right. Now, for the rest of the news. So here we go. So I'm gonna hit the highlights. Now, I've looked at all the news. I'm kind of throwing out the bits and pieces that are the highlights. I'm not really focusing on the AMAs or various team members that were brought on board at different times because they do announce those and they're pretty important. But that's not really what I'm going to hit in this video. All right. So July 20th of last year. So Verasity, this is a big one, received an A credibility rating from a third-party independent audit. That is impressive. This is exactly what we've been asking for years with Tether, okay? Tether is incapable of doing this. Verasity did it. And not only did they do it, but they received an A rating from a third-party audit. This was last summer. That's a really big deal, right? August 2nd. So Verasity announced they had updated their proof of view patent to include parameters for non-ad data such as NFTs, as well as structural updates. I think that's really important too. So this is patented technology, their proof of view, all right? Really like that. November 12th. So Veracity's circulating supply. this is interesting. So this is kind of music to my ears. So for a lot of viewers of my channel, a lot of people have come in recently because of the various videos I've done on Jasmy. And there's a lot of questions right now around the circulating supply because what's listed on CoinMarketCap does not seem accurate. Well, lo and behold, Verasity even did a Medium post on this, which is exactly what I've been asking Jasmy to do, okay? So they did a Medium post on it, and they explained in the Medium post some things I was completely unaware of. So apparently CoinGecko gets their number on circulating supply from CoinMarketCap, right? Etherscan gets their number from CoinMarketCap. Everybody sources CoinMarketCap. So where does CoinMarketCap get it? Well, CoinMarketCap apparently has an algorithm that calculates circulating supply by everything in the blockchain. So what Verasity was saying was they're 100% transparent. They supply all the information to CoinMarketCap because at the time, apparently, the community was up in arms on what the actual circulating supply is, just like Jasmy, right? So the really fascinating thing in this article, and they actually highlighted it and bolded it, was that CoinMarketCap does not account for cold wallets by these massive exchanges, okay? So could this be a factor with numerous other coins? Yeah, it could. If the exchange that they are supplying liquidity to by giving that token over there is then putting that into cold storage instead of putting it onto the exchange, therefore CoinMarketCap is not accounting for it. Really interesting. So I thought it was absolutely amazing that they did it. This is exactly what I've been talking about with Jasmy for the last couple of weeks. And lo and behold, Verasity did exactly that last year. So highly recommend you checking that out. I'll be giving the link at all this at the end, right? But really important piece of news there. Now, they also announced that Vera Esports was coming to Korea in November 16th. That's South Korea, so really big deal there for their debut. January 3rd, so Verasity announced a corporate rebrand and new website. This is one of the things I noticed when I took a look at it, because I was like, holy cow, like this looks completely different from what I was looking at last year. So that's really awesome. It looks really good, I got to admit, all right? Now, they also announced January 18th that the staking program has been extended to 2023. So I mentioned this in my first video that they have something called the Vera wallet. And in that wallet, you can stake your Vera tokens so you can buy them elsewhere on various exchanges. You know, some of the exchanges, like I said, there's Kucoin, Crypto.com, some various others. I do have referral links in the video description for various bonuses when you sign up. When you do, you also help support the channel, so big thanks. Check those out. But essentially, if you go through that and you can buy the tokens there and send them to the Vera wallet. Now, what you can also do is you can buy them apparently straight on the Vera wallet. So you can buy them there too. So whatever you want to do, right? Now, in terms of staking, the staking reward is 25.55%. That is awesome. I guarantee that probably 95% of the viewers of this channel aren't getting a rate that good. You know, the more people I talk to, everybody's just kind of like, yeah, you know, I bought it and just held it on the exchange and whatever. And it's like, you're missing out on massive rewards here, right? So this one is 25.55%. Awesome staking rewards for Verasity. So if you pick up Verasity somewhere else, highly recommend you stake this one, okay? You know, with rewards that great on a project that's doing as much as this, this is a solid investment, okay? So really like that. And they extended it essentially to 2023. So they've announced this a couple of times on their Medium page that each year they take another look at it and see, are they extending it, yes or no, and you know, essentially what's the rate? And they've kept it the same rate pretty much throughout, 25.55, and they've extended it each year, all right? So there you go. Now, lastly, for some of the featured news from February, in particular, was a couple of partnerships. So one was with Valorant Champions Tour, APAC, and the other was with Axie Infinity for the Axie Galaxy Cup. So really awesome. They're doing great, okay? Now, They also released a full 2022 roadmap. So this is in here as well, where some of the items are the following. So we've got proof of view, NFT-enabled smart contract functionality. We've got testing and launch of their NFT marketplace. That's coming out, their MVP launch. We've got live chat for Vera Esports, right? That's a really big deal. Vera Wallet branding refresh. So the wallet still looks like the old kind of font and format and all that. They're going to totally refresh that just like they did with the website. I'm sure it'll look great. Single sign-on. This is really important. Single sign-on ID, multi-factor authentication, enhanced support. All of these things kind of go together to improve the overall user experience, so user doesn't have, various sign-ons for different things, etc. They're working on that, and that's all going to come together this year for 2022. Now, where you can find all of the information I just talked about was from their Medium page. So it's medium.com/Verasity. All right. Now, hopefully that makes a lot of sense on why I am really bullish on this project. There is just so much going on here that it's just too much. Too much is happening here to ignore this one. There's too much opportunity. I really like all these various aspects of it. There's so much news, and no, I'm not paid by Verasity, and no, this isn't a sponsored video. This is simply me looking at the news and going, wow, they got a lot of news. And not only do they have a lot of news, they got a lot of partnerships. They have an independent third-party audit. They've addressed circulating supply. They're doing absolutely everything that you would expect a project to do to be fully transparent and accountable. They're doing that. So really love that with all of the news here in this project in particular. So that being said, now let's take a look at the chart. All right, so today is March 9th, 2022, and we are looking at the Verasity chart on TradingView. So I went ahead and inserted the trend lines for what I'm seeing for this current trend of Verasity. You can see from where it peaked out roughly early 2021, it made a really good run towards the end of the year, peaked yet again. Since that time, kind of went down with the rest of the market, and where it's at right now is pretty close to the bottom of the trend line. So if we're looking at these two trend lines here, this one here peaks out at about, let's say 10.8, so 10 cents, almost 11 cents. And this one here, I think, is right about almost 3 cents. So let's just say 3 and 11 cents, okay? Now, where we're at today is 0.023. So by the end of the year, if this one keeps on trending within this same channel that it's been in, you could look for anywhere between 3 and 11 cents. Now, if it breaks above that, obviously you go into a price discovery mode. But from where we stand today at 2 cents, this easily you could do a 5x on it at some point this year is what it looks like for Verasity. All right. Now, I don't know if you would necessarily want to do that with 25.5% staking. I would be willing to guarantee that's probably more staking rewards than most of the viewers of this video are getting on whatever exchanges you're using. It seems like the more people I talk to, people tell me they're either not staking anything or they're not really sure how to do it or whatnot. This one's pretty easy with the wallet. You would just send it from the exchange over to the wallet, wherever you're picking it up at. And you could be getting that 25.5% staking rewards. So pretty awesome on that front. Now, looking at the rest of this chart here, and I'm going to zoom in up here in a minute, but let me just kind of go through it first. So looking at the volume, obviously last year, talk about some massive volume, especially right back here in March. Look at these green bars, just massive, right? So that kind of carried it to that first run. Sold off a little bit from there, obviously. Had some big time volume between July all the way up through, let's say, mid-December. Since that time, really tapered off, kind of with the rest of the market, it just sort of went flat, right? Looking at the RSI, I had mentioned this in the video I did yesterday on Bitcoin that, it was trending down and we were kind of in a good spot for a nice pump, and we really just needed some good news. And then lo and behold, Today, we had the executive order from President Biden here in the US on the cryptocurrency industry. A lot of good stuff in that executive order. I did a tweet on that, so you can check that out along with the post referencing an article I think was on CNBC. But they're also talking about a digital CBDC, so very bullish news on that front. So that's where you see this little jump here in the RSI. Um, we also had Elon go ahead and do a bit of a cryptic tweet about Satoshi Nakamoto, so that was pretty funny. So a little shout out to Bitcoin. So between the two of those, nice little pump right now in the market. All right, so that's this jump that you're seeing here, and you're going to see this in probably just about every chart out there, especially with all the Bitcoin pairs for all the altcoins that are paired to Bitcoin, right? Now, going down further here to the market cipher, so you can see the red outflow wave. Money probably started flowing out of this thing. Looks like towards the tail end of November, flowed out from there. Kind of tried to regain a little bit, couldn't really do that. Had quite a few green dots down here. Had some definite trigger waves. Saying it looks like this thing's trying to rebound, and it just couldn't quite do it. I think like everything, Bitcoin's really just sort of been holding it back, and the lack of volume in Bitcoin. And a lot of that just has to do with global market forces that are a part of the marketplace now. So, not necessarily anything that was bad or wrong with Veracity at all whatsoever. So, bottom line here is the chart overall looks pretty positive. Now, let me go ahead and double click this. We'll go ahead and zoom in on this a little bit and show you what this looks like. So, if you're following me now, let's see here. Um, you can see here the EMAs, kind of following, Bitcoin a little bit and what I'm seeing here, kind of the way these things look. But obviously, the EMAs are currently bearish, so they're reversed with the 200-day on top, the 50 in the middle, and the 20-day on the bottom. We need those to reverse to get the 20-day back on top. So the big thing that I've been looking for that I mentioned yet in yesterday's video with the Bitcoin chart is the cross of the 20 and 50-day EMA potentially. And when that happens, that is by all accounts a bullish event. So that's what I've been waiting for. We kind of teased it a couple times, hasn't really happened yet. I would imagine that's probably coming soon around the corner. And when it does, that's when the alts are really going to take off. In terms of when that could be, hey, could be middle of April, could be, maybe a little past that. I've been sort of predicting second quarter for months now, and it's lining up like that very well may indeed be the case. So, that being said, in terms of Veracity, a lot of potential in this coin right now. Definitely the potential of a 5x at some point this year. If you don't care about that and you simply just want to stake it, 25.5% APY. That is higher than I think just about any exchange offering that I'm aware of, with the exception of a few wallets out there have some pretty high rewards on some other altcoins. But that's a really high one, so that's very good. Okay, very bullish for Veracity. So if you want to stake this one, huge opportunity there. The chart really overall looks really good. I think this is a great chart, and all that it's really hinging on is, could we tap this bottom trend line again? Sure, we could. But once we get across of those EMAs, could this whole thing swing bullish? Absolutely, it definitely could, and we could bring in some more volume. As you can see here, looking at the volume, it's been flat since mid-December, but that's not really a knock against Veracity because the whole crypto market's been flat for that same time period. Now, something else though that I did want to show you all. Let me go to Coin Market Cap real quick. So I pulled up the total holders for VRA token, the Veracity token. And as of today, we've got 64,849. Now you can see over time, over 3 months, look, it's gone up pretty dramatically, right? It started trending up basically the beginning of this year. Went all the way up, it sort of peaked, let's say March 2nd, maybe March 5th or so. What's that? Yeah, right around there. So let's say March 2nd through March 5th is when it peaked. Since that time, it's actually gone down a little bit. And the reason why, and this is something that happens in crypto, is there's a lot of people that buy the rumor, sell the news, or buy the rumor, sell before the news. So, with the big news that dropped recently with Veracity, I think that's exactly what they've done. And it kind of reflects that here in the total holder addresses, right? Now, really, none of that matters at all if your strategy is to simply stake this one and make big returns that way. But it is something to be mindful of if that's not your strategy and you want to just swing trade it. Well, you can see with these declining wallets here over the last couple of days, that's because they knew the big news was coming and they probably sold it just before then, right? So that's what that's indicative of. Other than that, it's not really anything at all to be concerned about. Okay, so that's it for the chart and the holders on Veracity, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes to wrap up this video. Here at the Keeping It Real Finance channel, we need your support. All of the content on this channel is entirely organic, meaning we did the video on a topic that we simply like, or we did it because of a request from one of you, our viewers. So that being said, if you enjoyed today's video and would like to support the channel, there are multiple ways you can do that to help us to continue to create and level up our content. Our affiliate links will be available in the video description to cover platforms we endorse and use ourselves. Support the channel today and earn sign-up bonuses along the way. We also have a merch shop available with links below the video or directly by visiting KIRfinance.myspreadshop.com, where we offer tons of great designs and product options. We've got everyone in the family covered. Help support us by picking up merch and sharing your photo on social media. We may even send you an NFT. Speaking of NFTs, at OpenSea.io we have our NFT series, The Liberty or Death Crossroads, available now. Pick one up today and enjoy special upcoming perks and exclusive content with our planned upcoming courses, Patreon, and Discord group. If you're a reader and simply looking to step up your game in personal finance, I also wrote a book in 2015 titled Driving Through Potholes, Financial Strategy and Life Lessons for Those Looking to Rediscover the American Dream. The book is available now at Amazon in Kindle and paperback. And lastly, if you'd simply like one-on-one consulting, feel free to reach out anytime at keepingitreal since1982@gmail.com. We greatly appreciate your support today, and now let's get back to the video. Alright, so now let's wrap up this video with some final thoughts on Veracity and this long-awaited update. So since my last video, there is a truckload of bullish news. We've got 3 major centralized exchange listings. They've addressed circulating supply. They continue to improve the user experience on the platform. Just tons of things going on here. They extended the rewards rate for staking 25.55%. As I mentioned earlier, I fully guarantee that the majority of the people watching this video are not staking anything for anywhere near that rate. So that is a fantastic rate. Rates like that are what are like inflation proof. That's such a good rate that you could invest in this one, you could sit on it, whatever. As I showed with the chart, you could see where those holders of the coin went up and then dropped. Well, these are all the people who aren't staking it, right? So there's a lot of opportunity here with staking in this project. I think they've been fully transparent all along. They continue to make great partnerships, great strides. Really impressed overall with this one. There's a lot of qualities here that, in some of my recent videos I've been talking about with other projects that they need to do these things. And then lo and behold, I review Veracity and there they all are. They have. They've been doing all the things I want them to do, right? Really appreciate the article they posted on that circulating supply. That is really important. You have to be transparent with community, especially with a cryptocurrency community. You have to be transparent to grow the project, and so the investors are in the loop and they know what's happening, right? So the bottom line here with Veracity, it definitely looks very bullish for the remainder of this year. We've had tons of bullish news. In terms of the room in the chart, this thing could easily do a 5x. It could do greater than that. Really any chart, any prediction, there's a window of what could happen. This one's kind of like a 5x and up is possible here. If it goes above that trend line, you're in price discovery mode. Who knows? Maybe it could get a 7 or 8x, before it comes back down again. That's what it does. It goes up, it goes down. It doesn't just stay up. So that being said, really glad I reviewed it today. You know, for anybody who watched my original video, I'm sure you've been waiting on this one for quite a while, a Verasity update. And ironically, I was looking at doing this video yesterday, and then I ultimately did a video on the Bitcoin chart and the, you know, global kind of market analysis and what was happening. And then lo and behold, today they discussed the listing with crypto.com. So go figure, you know, that's kind of how the universe works sometimes, is sometimes, you know, it gives you a kick in the rear end and go, hey, you do need to talk about this. So maybe that's what happened here, all right? So anyway, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget that I'm also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting on a regular basis. Check me out there. And lastly, for a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back, tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one. Later.